My name is Gerald, and in this video I will show you how to turn day into night using Photoshop. So let's begin. I'll be using this image of a house, then this image of stars, and this image of the moon. So if you want to follow along with me, you can check the links in the description and you download. So we shall use color lookup to darken the image. So click on the adjustment layers icon and select color lookup. Then click on the 3D loot file and click on this drop down and select moonlight. Then the next step is to add the stars. So click on the image of the stars, pick the move tool, click and hold and drag it without releasing, and then drop it on top of this image. Then change the blend mode to lighten. Then you can move it to a suitable area, something like this. Then click on the layer mask button and make sure your foreground color is black. Then grab the brush tool and make sure the opacity is 100 and flow is 100. Then start painting black to hide the stars that are in the unwanted areas. Then the next step is to add the moon. So click on the image of the moon and make a selection of just the moon. So pick the quick selection tool and make a rough selection of the moon. Then press Ctrl+J to duplicate that selection. Then pick the move tool and you drag that to this image. Then press Ctrl+T to transform it and then reduce the size. So let's put the moon somewhere here. Then if you are done, click on this check mark to place. So as you can see, the entire image is not that dark. It's having too much light and we don't want that. So there are several ways we can add more darkness to this image. But the quickest way is just click on this color lookup layer and press Ctrl+J to duplicate it. So now there are two and the image is looking more dark. So if it's too dark for you, you can reduce the opacity somehow, but I'll keep this at 100. So you can see some of the stars are on the building and we don't want that. So you can click on the layer mask of the stars and grab your brush tool and then paint with black to hide. At this point now we can go ahead and add some lights, because a big home like this cannot just be in total darkness. So let's add some lights to make it look more interesting. So grab the polygonal lasso tool and select the windows of the house. So let's zoom in a bit. So to add on the selection, press and hold the Shift key on the keyboard and add another selection. Make sure you don't release until the points meet. Then you can also press and hold the space bar and you drag to move it around. So if you want to add another window, hold the Shift key again. Make sure you don't release while making the selection. And then select all the windows that you want to select. Then if you are done making your selection, click on the adjustment layers icon and then click on solid color. Then you can go ahead and choose the color of the lights. I'll go with something like this. So if you want to follow along with my color, you can copy the hex code from here. Then click OK. Then reduce the opacity to around 50%. Now for the outside lights, we just have to make assumptions because there are no visible bulbs in this image. So create a new layer and grab the brush tool. So if you want to follow along with the color I'm using, just copy this hex code and click OK. So use a soft round brush with a size of around 125 pixels. Then just click once on the areas that you think bulbs would be. For example, maybe here, maybe here, maybe here. And just assume there is a security light somewhere here, and maybe here, here also. Then if you are done, create a layer mask for this very layer. So click on the layer mask button, then grab the brush tool and paint with black to hide, because now this light we are assuming that it's behind. So you can brush this area so that it looks like it's behind. And this one also. Yeah, something like this. And by the way, if you are enjoying this video, please do us a favor and subscribe to our channel to support us. So let's proceed. Now the next thing to do, right click on this layer for the lights and select blending options. Then click on outer glow. Then blend mode is normal, opacity is 100%. Then use a yellow color. You can copy this code if you want this exact color. Then the technique is soft. Spread is 4%, size is 10 pixels, range is 50%, and jitter is 0. Then click OK. So if I turn off the effects we have just added, you can see the before and you can see the after. Then one last thing we can do, go ahead and click on the first layer and then click on the adjustment layers icon and then select curves. Then you can just increase the brightness a bit to make it look nicer. So that will be all for today. Thank you for watching and please don't forget to subscribe.